The city of brotherly love is in for a lot of animosity this weekend. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. It's been 25 years since Philadelphia hosted a WrestleMania. NXT will take over the arena where WrestleMania 15 took place, while the main rosters head for more open fields, if you will. At least 20 matches in 36 hours, so let's get to my picks. First, the appetizer. Here are my picks for NXT Stand and Deliver 2024. Start with the Kick Countdown match. Joe Gacy versus Shawn Spears. Ever since the schism broke up, Gacy's been doing a hybrid of Mankind and Bray Wyatt, loving pain and fighting through it. Meanwhile, the man once known as the Perfect 10 is back to show NXT he greatly improved in AEW. So when the arena crowds are on them, who will excel? Honestly, don't know. First coin flip of the year, mental. And the winner is Joe Gacy. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. Saw this coming, just didn't think it would take so long. It might be time for Melo to join the main roster. He has cameoed there a few times, after all. And while I don't think Williams is ready to go after the NXT title, Hayes started with the North American title, right? But this will be the match of the afternoon. After all, they were contenders for the tag team titles, so they know each other's tricks, pun not intended. But this time I think experience will win out over Williams. One last win for the road, except maybe a failed title match against, well, you'll see. Winner is Carmelo Hayes. 6-woman tag, Thea Hill, Fallon Henley, and Kehlani Jordan versus JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dane. Good. This is about as slapdash as you can get. Listen, I have no doubt about these ladies' abilities in the ring, but one team seems to be all about individual failure, and the other, well, at least they win from time to time. And let's face it, The Rockette made this match solely to shut them up. So this will probably be a palate cleansing match before the main event, which is what I hoped women's matches would never be again. And the winners obviously are Jane, James, and Dame. Say that 5 times fast. NXT Tag Team Championships. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin defend against Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Not exactly the team I'd pick to face the champs, but I guess the OC need to cut their teeth a bit more. Besides, as much as I like 2 rhinos butting heads in the ring, 4 is a bit crowded. So a classic strength versus speed match seems appropriate, but the champs have a little speed on their side as well. This will be wild, easily the longest match of the afternoon, but the fact is that Breaker is en route to being full-time on SmackDown, and Baron will be left on his burning ship into obscurity. So, winners and new champs, Axiom and Frazier. North American title, triple threat. Omafemi versus Dijak and Josh Briggs. Look, I get it, Briggs. You spent a long time with Brooks Jensen and you want to prove you were the last Evolve champ for a reason. But even as a team, you were useless. You only won the UK titles as a fluke. You ain't ready for Dijak, let alone Femi. Speaking of, as much as I would love for the former T-Bar to finally win a title, it ain't gonna happen with Femi holding it. The man is a brute. Yeah, he had a losing streak when he was first brought in, but when he came back nigh on unstoppable. I honestly think they could hold a 10-man Royal Rumble for the title with Femi as number 1, and he'd still win. So winner and still champ, Obafemi. NXT Women's title, Lyra Valkyrie, versus Roxanne Perez. Hey Roxy, you say you never lost the title? Just because you lost it in a ladder match doesn't mean you didn't lose it. Admittedly, I could think of better people to lose it to than Indy Hartwell, but a loss is a loss. And you lost to Valkyria before, albeit thanks in part to Lola Vice making it a triple threat 3/4 way in. In any case, just because you were never pinned or had tapped out during a title match doesn't make you automatically a contender. Valkyria earned that title and has been tearing up the locker room to hold on to it. And you have the nerve to demand you be just given the title? Oh, Roxy, Roxy, Roxy. Today is the first day of the rest of your absolutely tanked career. Winner and still champ, Lyra Valkyrie. Finally, NXT Championship. Ilya Dragunov versus the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo. Talk about your stereotypes. We have a mad Russian and a delightful Italian mobster. But the 6 million ruble question is Dragunov's injury legit? Is his hand truly disabled right now? If it isn't, don't think that Dragunov won't make it like it is just to get sympathy. And if it is, well, pretty convenient given what people are saying about his immediate future, right? Yes, like Breaker and Hayes, people are saying Dragunov will be on his way to the main roster come the next draft. And what a way to start off his time away from the NXT than healing that hand for a month or two. Legit injury or not. Besides, D'Angelo has been more popular in NXT than he is hasn't been more popular than he is right now. People want him to win the big prize, no matter how many Italians or woke folks he pisses off. Yeah, head to Raw, SmackDown, Teddy KGB. The real mafia will take it from here. Winner and new champ, Tony D'Angelo. Okay, on to the main course. Sorry. Here are my predictions for WrestleMania XL, or 40 for those who don't speak Italian. Night 1. Main event Jey Uso versus Jimmy No Yeet Uso. Speaking of people who know each other very well, who better than twins, right? With over a dozen years of experience and multiple tag titles, Jimmy and Jey were practically inseparable until Jey bailed on the bloodline for Raw. Now Jay's been busy over the last year, and Jimmy has been regulated the junior enforcer under his own kid brother. That might make all the difference. Plus Jay has picked up a few things Jimmy doesn't know about. Winner, Jey Uso. Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. What the hell happened to Dragon Lee to make him get injured enough to be left out of WrestleMania? Quite honestly, I think it was Andrade's coming back that kicked Lee to the curb. But you know, I don't think it matters much. With the Judgment Day and Legado del Fantasma as temporary partners, how can even a Hall of Famer and his newest LWO sidekick stand a chance? Winners, Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. 6-woman tag, Bianca Belair, Naomi and Jade Cargill versus Damage Control. Nice that Dakota Kai is finally back to full-time action. Not so nice that Asuka and Kairi Sane are not defending their titles. But extra nice that Cargill is finally getting some action. Someone I know called them Team Black, which I think is derogatory to say the least. These girls are carrying the hopes and dreams of African-American girls more than the live-action Little Mermaid ever could. Sorry, but Asuka will remain 0 for all at WrestleMania. Winners are Belair, Naomi, and Cargill. 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles. Now, Wikipedia believes that both titles will be hung from the rafters and that the match will end only when both sets are taken down. That means it's possible that the Raw and the SmackDown tag titles will finally be split. As much as I would like that to happen, I really don't think it will. So I'll have one pick, and if they only win one title, I'll take half a point. So, Judgment Day will collapse tonight, but to whom? The Awesome Truth? Hells no. They weren't that great the first time around. DIY? Possible. New Day? Don't know, I think they've had enough success. A-Town and Down Under? For the Road Warriors' sake, I pray not. Taliban and Pete Dunne are overdue for some titles in the US though, so my picks for winners and new undisputed tag champs, New Catch Republic. Intercontinental Championship, Gunther defends against Sami Zayn. Oh, how I wish Zayn would end the Austrian's record-breaking reign. How I wish anyone would, truth be told. Honestly, Gunther needs to move on to bigger things, like the World Heavyweight Championship, for instance. It's obvious that definitely doesn't need Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci to be successful. The All-Imperium thing should be shelved unless the German and Italian can get back into the tag mix. And Zayn has one more deep problem, Chad Gable. I think his training is actually softening Zayn up for Gunther to finish off. I think he will keep holding the title until at least the Raw after WrestleMania. Then we'll see if Brock Lesnar returns with a vengeance. For now, winner and still champ is Gunther. Women's World Title, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. As I said, Judgment Day collapses tonight, and that includes its matriarch. Ripley has held the title since last WrestleMania, but the pressures of keeping Judgment Day together while dodging the man is starting to crack her. And with all but McDonough busy with matches, who does Rhea Ripley have to back her up? I'm afraid Mommy's all alone this time, and the Irish Lass Kicker is going to live up to that name again. Well, it'll be the longest match of the night, no doubt. These two can be brutal when need be, but Lynch doesn't need any help to trick herself into a win. You're finally going down, Ripley, believe it or not. Winner and new champ, Becky Lynch. Finally, on night one, Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins versus Roman Reigns and The Rock. Stipulation for the Universal title match on the line. Just when I thought Dwayne had left the business for good, his cousin begs him to come back to help him keep his belt so that he can surpass Hulk Hogan's 4-year mark. And Rhodes has to counter with Reigns' former Shield partner, like Rollins is truly back at 100% when ring rust must be a factor. Now, I suspect Reigns will do most of the heavy lifting for the Bloodline, with Rocky coming in to do the People's Elbow, or is it the Bloodline Elbow? And a rock bottom someone will kick out of. But there will be no betrayal on behalf of Rollins or Rhodes. It'll be Solo Sikoa who distracts one while Reigns spears the other into Kingdom Come. Winners, Roman Reigns and The Rock. On the night 2, 6-man Philly street fight. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus Karrion Kross and the AOP. Kross has no right to be in a WrestleMania with how poorly he's been performing. It's the AOP that is holding up the Final Testament. But that might be enough to take out the Almighty and the Street Profits. This will be a brutal match. I mean, street fights are meant to be brutal, but the AOP is tough enough and hungry enough to put them down. Winners of the Final Testament. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. So where's CM Punk as guest ref, and AJ Styles as ring announcer, and DDP as timekeeper? Keep the theme going, why don't you? Anyway, we'll see. We all saw this coming not too soon after Royal Rumble. Styles felt threatened by this newcomer and wanted to keep him from succeeding at all costs. But Knight wants to shake the god-awful Max Dupree angle. Once and for all, now that 3M are history, and without Gallows and Anderson to help out, Styles will not be successful. Winner, LA Knight, yeah! Triple threat for the United States title. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Okay, it's time for at least one title on SmackDown to be released from POW status. And time for Logan Paul to really pay for that Prime Energy drink ring ad. Besides, Paul needs to be there to help his brother in the hospital after Mike Tyson takes him out. So, who will take the title? Now that's a toughie because I think either one of them deserve it. But Owens hasn't been doing too well at KO Mania, last year's main event notwithstanding. So even though Paul's brass knucks will come into play legally, I think KO will use them on Paul to stunner him, only to get an RKO out of nowhere and for Orton to take it. Winner and new champ, Randy Orton. WWE Women's Championship, Io Sky versus Bayley. Didn't I tell Bayley not to get comfy with Dakota Kai as her backup because a backstab was imminent? But with Bebe finally winning the Royal Rumble, she's ready for revenge on Damage Control. Whether the rest of the group will be in Sky's corner or not is still up in the air with the beating they'll receive tonight. And that's the problem. See, although Sky won the Money in the Bank ladder match and cashed in to win the title, she hasn't really done anything without the help of Kai and the Kabukis. And Bayley? She's been learning to do things on her own for once. It wouldn't surprise me if the wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing two men come back for one night only, and Bayley to give the crowd the show that only a hugger could produce. Winner and new champ, Bayley. World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth freaking Rollins defends against Drew McIntyre. It took a lot of happenstance for the Scotch Warrior to finally return to the main event of WrestleMania after a 4-year absence. Last time Drew fought for a title at WrestleMania was in front of a crowd of 0. Oh, and he was happy to win, I'm sure, but he, like everyone else, would have been happier to get and defend the title in front of a real crowd. But McIntyre's attitude is all wrong. Sure, it was that attitude that got him this far, but if he thinks Rollins is an embarrassment to the World Heavyweight title, he's batty as bagpipes. Rollins has taken on all comers with a broken frickin' neck. McIntyre will give him a run for the money, but the song will live on. Winner and still champ Seth frickin' Rollins. But then, in my bold prediction of the night, Damian Priest will run down, cash in Money in the Bank, and though it may take a while, he'll do what Rollins did 9 years ago. Winner and new champ, Damian Priest. Finally, WWE Universal title match. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus American Nightmare Cody Rhodes in a Bloodline Rules match. No doubt The Rock and Sikoa will be in Reigns' corner, just like Sikoa was in his corner last year to disrupt things. Now, part of me thinks that this match reeks of the upcoming rematch for the U.S. presidency, as in very few people actually wanted to see it. Why couldn't Rhodes fight Rollins? Why isn't it Reigns versus Rock? Why does this do the same match and expect different results? Are we all insane? Well, not really. This is where The Rock finally regains his conscience. Takes out Sikoa, and while the ref is distracted or KO, delivers a rock bottom to Reigns. And then Cody Rhodes will do a crossroads, and it'll be all over. Winner and new champ, Cody Rhodes. The story finally ends tonight. And those are my picks. Enjoy your streaming. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blog who always tells it like it is. Pray for peace. And I'll see you